Hello everyone and welcome back on my YouTube channel. I invite you to subscribe to this YouTube channel in order to find all my previous videos, and you can also follow me on my official Facebook page and Instagram account Maria Ducuţă. Tonight I would like to talk about self-compassion, why it's so important, and how to practice self-compassion when you love yourself the least. Because it is easy to talk about love when you have it. It is easy to talk about happiness when you have it. And it is so much harder to talk about it, to talk about anything when you don't have it. And mostly to try to make something out of that feeling, that emotion, that anything that you don't have. So when talking about self-compassion, we talk about the way in which you take care of yourself, the way in which you manage your emotions, your needs, everything that relates to your state of being, to your health, to your happiness. And self-compassion, basically, it's much more than, let's say, just being careful of what you think or of what you feel. Self-compassion, it's the way in which you shape your life so that you have a place in your life. Now, because we talk about compassion for other people, it is difficult to understand why this self-compassion, which means taking care of yourself, taking care of your needs, relates to compassion for other people, and why this self-compassion is so important. Because self-compassion is different from compassion for other people. Why is this a different concept? Well, firstly, because it is so much easier to have compassion for something or someone that you see outside yourself. You know that this is your mother, you know that this is your child, you know that this is your neighbor. So you know how to manifest your compassion. It is a living and breathing human being that stands right in front of you. So you know how to manifest your compassion, because you can see that human being, you can communicate with him, with her, and you can find out if it is appropriate what you are doing or not. You can have a feedback from that human being if you are compassionate or not towards that person. Whereas when we talk about self-compassion, things get a bit messier, because you don't have a specific person that you can ask this question: am I enough compassionate towards you? Do you feel loved? Because self-compassion, it's about encompassing, by your own example, the love that you are waiting from other people. So because we don't have a certain person that we can go to and ask him or her, hey, listen, am I enough compassionate to you? Do you like the way in which I talk to you? It is difficult to implement this self-compassion, and at times it is even difficult to check on the level of self-compassion, because it is a different story. When we talk about manifesting something for someone that you cannot talk directly to, namely yourself. So we have established that it is difficult to manifest self-compassion from this point of view. There is no one else outside yourself that you can hold accountable for your lack of self-compassion. It is only yourself that can have self-compassion, because you are the only person during this lifetime that can encompass and represent the self. This is why it is yourself and nobody else's self, if we can put it in this way. Secondly, self-compassion, it is very difficult to be manifested because it is not actively taught. Now, what this means? Well, our whole educational system, it's centered around others, around other people's opinions, lives, and feedback. So when you talk about self-compassion, some people may feel that this is narcissism, that this is a selfish way to regard the world, which definitely it's not the case. Because self-compassion always means compassion for other people too. Once you have embarked on a journey towards self-compassion, towards compassion for yourself, you will, by definition, and you will just by feeling this compassion for yourself, you will feel it for other people too. So self-compassion is difficult to be manifested because it is not taught. Even from an early age, we are incredibly stimulated and encouraged to support other people's needs, to take care how we talk to other children, to respect our teachers, to behave in an appropriate manner. Then later on to become responsible adults, to take care of our families, to take care of our finances and so on. So compassion, and especially self-compassion, it's something that does not represent a debated value in our families or even in our schools. It is mostly an abstract concept that many people think of being, they associate compassion and self-compassion with vulnerability and weakness and maybe stupidity at times. Maybe like, what do you have to do during this lifetime better than having self-compassion? Come on, get serious. And that is so not true, because the lack of self-compassion creates monsters. And that monster is yourself, of course. What this means? Well, it means that if you don't have self-compassion, you are constantly judging yourself. You are thinking the worst about yourself. Even when you are making and not making a mistake. Even when you are harmful towards other people, and even when you are kind. When you lack self-compassion, you lack an objective perspective. You lack any perspective upon your life and other people. So the lack of self-compassion basically means that whatever I am doing, I am not good enough to feel grateful for myself. The lack of self-compassion means that no matter how far I come, no matter how great I become, I am never satisfied with what happens. And I'm always require external validation. Why? Because I don't feel self-compassion. Being compassionate towards yourself means to give yourself the time and space to become who you truly are. Self-compassion, it's about taking care of yourself as a friend, as someone that is very dear to your heart. And self-compassion means that you stop fighting yourself, that you stop fighting the enemy, and that you stop thinking that the enemy is inside yourself. People that do not have self-compassion are always on the run. What are they running from? Well, they are running from themselves. Because they are always in their minds, even when other people would like to be compassionate towards them, they just don't let that happen. Why? Because they don't have self-compassion. They don't feel deserving of anyone's affection or care because they have never offered themselves care or love. Self-compassion is such a revolutionary concept because it requires awareness. It requires mindfulness. It requires being aware of my weaknesses, of my vulnerabilities, of my incredibly good features and of my, let's say, least good features. But self-compassion always begins with complete and pure awareness. What this means? Well, this means that I am not running from who I am. I truly embrace the point where I stand now in my life, in my relationships, and I do not deny it. I do not hide it from myself or from other people. Why am I doing this? Well, because I have self-compassion. And how is this practically applied to my situation? Well, if I have self-compassion, this means that whatever I find out to be true about myself, whether it's something incredibly bad or whether it's something incredibly good, I do not let it take away the respect and love I have for myself. And when I find out that I am harmful towards myself or towards other people, or when I find out that I did something very, very bad that I completely dislike, or that I have an incredibly harsh behavior that I totally disagree with, I do not judge myself, and I do not feel less deserving of my own love or other people's love, and I continue to live a life of improvement and of happiness. Self-compassion allows me to grow and allows me to constantly learn without judging myself during this process of learning. Self-compassion means that I understand my weaknesses, but I do not use them to make myself feel less important in my own eyes. And self-compassion means that when other people do not have compassion for me, I am there for myself. I support myself. And there are many times in our lives when we don't have other people's support, when our own families, the people that we love the most, are not there for us. Maybe they cannot do this, maybe they don't want to do this, maybe they are in a place in their own life where they simply cannot be there for us. And what do you do then? Well, you turn inwards and you turn to your self-compassion. What this means? Well, it means that if you have gone through a heartbreak, if you are incredibly vulnerable right now, if you feel incredibly sad and there is no one, because you have pushed people away or because they have run away from you, it doesn't matter in this specific context the reason why you are alone in your life, you still have a friend, and that is yourself, because you have self-compassion. Now, self-compassion, it's not about being blind or being blinded by your ego. It's not about thinking you are the best and you just don't need to hold yourself accountable for anything because you just love yourself so much. No, self-compassion, it's about being balanced about yourself and about seeing what exactly you feel that it's perfectly fine of what you are doing and you want to encourage more, you want to pursue more of that, and what exactly it's triggering you, what exactly it's holding you back from becoming the best version of yourself. Or if you want to replace the best version of yourself, let's say the functional version of yourself, because you cannot live a happy life when you are sad and angry and when you are frustrated and you are not grateful for yourself, firstly. So self-compassion means to see things as they are without trying to conceal anything, but without trying to make things worse than they are. You just observe whatever happens and you choose to learn from what happens in such a way that the things that used to hurt you do not have this harmful power over yourself anymore. Self-compassion has this healing power of embracing you as a whole. Now, what do people do at times? Well, we cut ourselves into pieces. This piece I like about myself. This piece, it's darker. I don't like it. I will reject it. This piece, yeah, this piece, it's good. Yeah, this is who I am. I look into everything that I am, and I select certain things that are at my own liking, and other things I reject them, even if it's me, even if they are all mine. So self-compassion means loving yourself and accepting yourself in your purest darkness, ignorance, defiance of everything and anything, and of taking that negative trait and accepting and loving it until it gets to be healed, until it gets to a point where your awareness makes it a quality, makes it something that enhances your strength and not diminishes it. Self-compassion means to recognize everything that you are, sometimes incredibly contradictory features, and not trying to blame yourself for it, not playing the victim, but not playing the savior either. You just stand at a point of vulnerability and emotional rawness that allows you to grow, that allows you to expand, and that allows you to heal. Self-compassion means to be there for yourself, not only when there is no one else around, but it means to be there for yourself when everybody else is around. Because there are these extremes. I can either be incredibly compassionate towards other people and have no self-compassion for myself, or I can take care of myself very well, but not let other people get close to me because I am trying to preserve myself. And the truth is that we cannot experience ourselves outside relationships. We need relationships. We need all sorts of relationships. We need even toxic relationships. We don't need to stay in toxic relationships. But in this lifetime, I need to experience everything so that I can get the chance to meet myself in every possible circumstance. Self-compassion, it's this balanced way of looking at yourself and of looking at other people. And also self-compassion, it's the best way to make sure that you don't stay in relationships that are harming you mentally, physically, spiritually, and so on. For example, if you lack self-compassion, you will feel that it's normal that your partner beats you. If you lack self-compassion, you will feel that it's normal that your partner doesn't respect you. If you lack self-compassion, you will accept any kind of harmful behavior because you don't feel anything for that person that gets to suffer out of that harmful behavior, namely yourself. If you don't take incredibly good care of yourself, you are in danger of being hit by an event, by a betrayal, by someone's rejection, and not being able to recover from that thing. Because you don't feel deserving of that help. And what's worse, when you lack self-compassion, you may have the opportunity of being helped by other people and you reject it. And you reject their care, their love, their attention because you just don't feel that you match these people's good intentions, because your intentions towards yourself are harmful. Self-compassion, it's not about being proud of yourself. Self-compassion is something incredibly healing when you are not proud of yourself. When you feel that you are abandoned, that you are alone, that nothing works, that you are doing everything that you can and still it's not going well. And what do? Well, by having self-compassion, you have patience. And you don't have that kind of patience that it means, okay, I'm staying right here, my life just happens, I am patient. No. Your patience, it's something that it's actively helping you to change things. So yeah, I am patient towards myself, but I am also working on things. I am also trying to help myself. I'm trying to help myself in becoming a person that I like to spend time with, a person that I like to share my life with. And this is like the best thing about self-compassion, that you start to like yourself. And you start to like yourself even when you hate yourself. And this is kind of a bit of a paradox right here, but it's true. When you love yourself the least and you are thinking, oh my God, I am so weak. For example, self-compassion is the best tool in the healing process, in any healing process of any emotional wound. Why? Because let's say that you have started to heal your emotional wounds. I don't know, you are doing some meditations, some prayers, any kind of, you are using any psychotherapy, any kind of emotional or spiritual or mental tool to recover. And so, there are moments when you feel nothing works. There are moments when you are so impatient and so frustrated and angered. You are angry at yourself. What is that thing that helps you then? Well, it's self-compassion. You know at that precise moment that you don't like yourself. You know that. You wish you were different. Yet, you don't abandon yourself. Because this is the power of self-compassion. You trust yourself enough to know that you will reach a better point, and you give yourself the chance to reach that better point by being supportive towards yourself, even though you are not at your own liking at that point, even though you don't like yourself at that point. So self-compassion, it's so powerful because it gives you time and space and support to achieve anything you want to achieve. But you don't do it by being pushed, by being pressured. You are doing it by being loved. And yes, there are people who perform incredibly well when they are pressured to do things. And there are people who are crushed by pressure. So pressure is different, and you need to know in your lifetime exactly how much pressure you can endure. And when it's too much, you need to stop. But self-compassion means to grow out of a place of love, of complete love. When you have self-compassion, you truly trust yourself. You trust yourself with anything and everything. And most importantly, when you are self-compassionate, you have faith and you stop fearing what you don't know. Whatever you don't know becomes your ally because you have self-compassion. You start to understand yourself as someone that you can rely on, and you start to build, let's say, a foundation of trust. For example, I have self-compassion towards myself when I have an anxiety crisis. I have self-compassion towards myself after I am heartbroken. I have self-compassion towards myself when I love someone that I cannot be with. I have self-compassion towards myself after I have divorced. What this means? Well, this means that instead of running into a state of fear, I run into a state of love. And this means that I am not fearing myself anymore. I am not fearing other people anymore, because I know that whatever comes, I can handle it. And this is the biggest power of self-compassion. It creates a space of emotional security where I can use all my experience to build new things and to heal old wounds, instead of beating myself up for whatever went wrong. Self-compassion doesn't only mean to leave yourself love notes on the mirror, to hug yourself, or to offer yourself a cookie. Self-compassion means to be there with yourself in the darkest hours and to enjoy yourself and to support yourself and to give yourself permission to be who you are. Self-compassion means to give yourself permission to suffer. Self-compassion means to give yourself permission to cry. Self-compassion means to give yourself permission to be honest and vulnerable and just to be who you are. And why is self-compassion offering such a generous package? Well, because you stop the fear, you stop self-judgment, and you just stop anything that can trigger you in a shameful way. Self-compassion means that you don't feel shameful for your past, for your mistakes. You don't feel guilt. And you just react to the positive side of yourself. And you start growing that positive side of yourself by what exactly? By being grateful. Gratefulness and self-compassion are the most important emotional and spiritual tools that you can ever use to heal yourself. And you work with these tools every single day, from the morning until dawn. And from dawn until morning, you are using self-compassion and you are using gratefulness. And why is this? Why are they so healing? Well, because you are telling yourself who you are, and you start to believe yourself. And by believing what you are telling yourself over and over again, you start to develop a pattern. And by developing a pattern, you start to form a new thinking habit. And your thinking habits become your behavioral patterns, and the way in which you behave becomes your attitude towards other people, towards yourself, and eventually your life. So by putting to work self-compassion, you are shaping yourself in an incredible, powerful way, because you don't give yourself any chance to bully yourself, to be sad about things, and you are switching your perspective from I'm such a stupid person that I am suffering right now, to I give myself enough space and enough love to recover from this, and I know that I will recover from it. Why? Because I am here for myself and I understand myself. Maybe I don't know all the reasons why this has happened. Maybe I don't know that, but I accept it. And I am so focused on healing, on growing and learning. And I am less focused, or not focused at all, on judging, on blaming others and pointing fingers. And in life, we think that the biggest enemy is outside ourselves. But in reality, the biggest enemy is inside ourselves, because it's only us who can truly create a future for ourselves, and it's only us who can truly destroy anything that we have at the present moment. So self-compassion, it's incredibly important when you love yourself the least. It is incredibly useful when you don't know what to do with your life. It is an incredible tool of observing your weakest points and of turning them into great assets, because you have enough patience and perseverance through the process of self-compassion. And self-compassion means that I understand myself as a whole, as a mechanism, and also I understand that my mind, my soul, and my body are working together if I am working for them too. So I cannot put aside any part of myself, judge it, fear it, and then expect it to grow into something beautiful. Self-compassion means to forgive myself firstly for everything that I consider wrong. The power of forgiveness, it's mostly discovered when you have self-compassion, because you have forgiven yourself, you are allowing yourself to be freed of any guilt. And by forgiving yourself, you learn how to forgive other people too. So you are not connected with other people's behaviors, mistakes, and mostly patterns of thinking and being. When you have self-compassion, you just give yourself the time that you need to heal. You support yourself through bad times. You want the best for yourself, and you try to find the ways in which you can provide yourself with that best, no matter what it is. Even if we talk about relationships, career, attitude, and so on. And self-compassion, it's incredibly strong, because you don't expect from yourself what you cannot offer to yourself at this point. You just enhance whatever you have, and you learn how to make the most of what you have, while not judging and blaming yourself for what you don't have. This was the video for tonight. I hope it helps. For more videos, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, Maria Ducuţă, and you can also find me on my Instagram and Facebook accounts, Maria Ducuţă. I wish you all a lovely evening. See you.